Recording and
Hello, welcome to my channel. In this short series of videos on new manager transition training, I'll be sharing tips and tools which will help you into getting into the new manager role easily. Right. In this today's video, we will look at some of the key skills required for people leaders. What are the key skills required for people leaders? Right. When you transition from individual contributor to the new people manager, as we discussed, whatever the qualities you had so far may not be sufficient to become an excellent people manager. So we will look at what are those key skills required in your new managerial role. The first one is the communication. It's very important skill. As a manager, you should be able to communicate well with your team members, your stakeholders, your customers, your cross-functional teams, and your management team, leadership team. Right? It's very, very important that you should be able to communicate the message very clearly in simple terms. You don't need to use a big hi-fi language or a lot of technical jargon. The simpler the message, the better the communication, right? And then second one is self-awareness and emotional intelligence. When I say the self-awareness, you should know what are your strengths and what are your opportunities. At the same time, you also should know what is your team strengths and what are those opportunities for team. Like as a manager, you should be able to know each and every team member, what are they good at and what are they not good at, and how you can develop them. Similarly, in terms of the emotional intelligence, you should know what kind of emotions you are going through, in some complex or tough situations. At the same time, how your team is, feeling about it, what are their emotions, and then once your emotions as well as your team members' emotions, you will be able to regulate the emotions in a better way, right? It is very important that regulating emotions, especially as a leader, it is very important, because you cannot just because there is a crisis, just because there is an emergency, or just because there is some failure, you cannot keep shouting at the people. You cannot blame others. So you should be able to regulate your emotions. You should talk to the people in a more empathetic manner. And the next one is related to that is empathetic listening. As we discussed, the good listeners are definitely good managers, right? And you should, as a manager, you should listen more and you should talk less. First, you should allow the people to express their emotions. You should give them the space to express their views without any fear. And then you can talk, right? But very, very important skill is the listening skills for the manager. And then the resilience. What is it? Resilience means is basically as a manager, you may come across, or you may encounter some kind of failures. See, earlier we discussed most of the outcomes as an individual contributor. You were responsible for that. But now when you have to get things done from others, then what will happen is sometimes there are bound to be some failures, and how quickly you can come back from the failures, and how can you guide your team towards success is very, very important. You cannot get stuck up in that failure. And similarly, nowadays the world is changing at a very fast pace, right? We are calling it as a VUCA world. Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguity. These are the four dimensions of the VUCA world. And every day, the technology is changing, the process is changing, automation is coming. So a lot of things are happening. So you should be able to adapt to the new change, and you should be open to experiment the new things. That is very, very important. And then as a manager, you cannot do everything, obviously, right? Because you are responsible for your teamwork, right? But at the same time, you cannot do everything on your own. So you should know how to delegate. You should know how to delegate the task to your team member, and how you can empower them to take the decisions. It is very, very important, right? And then building trust, I would say, one of the topmost, characteristic for the excellent managers is building trust, because you need to build trust with your team. In the introduction video, I told, if the team trusts you, then their productivity will be more, right? If the team trusts you, they do not care, even if they have to extend little bit, even if they have to stretch little bit for 1 or 2 days and work in the case of emergency or in the case of crisis. But if they don't trust you, they are not ready to work for you, right? So it is very, very important that you build the trust, you have the relationships with the trust. And then next one is with the critical thinking and problem solving. See, when you encounter a problem or issue, it is very important that you have to look at all the dimensions before providing a solution. Many times we see, you get a problem and then we provide some solution, but then that solution will create another problem in somewhere else. So we should not do like that. When you are working on a problem, you need to think about it critically from all the dimensions, and then take a proper solution, a proper approach. Okay. And then prioritization and decision making. Again, as an individual contributor, probably you might have worked on single task, but as a manager, definitely you will have to work on multiple tasks at the same time, right? In parallel sometimes. So you should understand, what is the priority for all your tasks. What is your organizational priority? What is your team priority? Right? Which one should be taken up first? Which one should be taken up next? Whether you can defer something, or whether you can delegate some tasks, or whether you can take support from somebody else. So you should, be able to prioritize and then, make a decision on that. And then customer service mindset. See, the very, the very purpose of the existence of any organization is their customers, right? Most of the organizations, they service their customers. Correct. So you should have that kind of customer service mindset. How I can provide value to my customers, right? How can I provide the satisfaction to my customers? You should always think about it, and you should wear the customer service mindset always, because without customers, we don't have the business. And then the teamwork and collaboration, because as I said, you need to work in team, and when I say team, there are different types of people. You need to ensure that everybody is collaborating together and minimizing the conflicts. And also, very important part is the recognition. Many times, the managers think that they only blame others, or they pick up the faults, but it is not correct. No, whenever somebody is doing good, you should be able to recognize. Whenever somebody is achieving their milestone, you should recognize them, right? That is very, very important. And last but not the least, the continuous learning. Just because you got promoted to the manager, you should not stop learning, because you need to keep yourself up to date with the industry trends. What is happening in the industry? What are the changes coming in the industry? And you need to keep yourself up to date continuously. And also, very importantly, you should share that knowledge with your team member, so that you can develop them also. So these are the very important key skills required in your new managerial role. And in the forthcoming sessions, we will be talking about each of these things in more detailed manner. So stay tuned for more details. And by the way, my name is Vijay Kumar Pita, and I'm an international trainer on soft skills and leadership skills. I also take sessions on mental well-being topics, as well as something related to cyber and internet psychology. What are the issues related to the internet and all? But in this series, I'll be focusing mostly on how can you become from a star performer to a star manager. So if you enjoy this video, please like it, and please share it with your friends and family and colleagues, so that they can also get benefited out of it. And then if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe, so that you can get the latest updates. And please take care of yourself, and thank you. Bye bye.